My beloved child, now that you know you are a watchman, now that the truth has been awakened within you like a fire that cannot be extinguished, I want you to understand more deeply the sacred position you hold. Your home, every brick, every door, every breath, is not merely a shelter from the elements, but a holy stronghold amid an age teeming with deceit. That dwelling is not simply a place for rest, but the first trench in an invisible war where light and darkness confront each other moment by moment. You are no longer on the sidelines. You have been placed at the very heart of a spiritual battlefield. Every thought you once considered small, every word you speak, every silent meditation, every seemingly unnoticed action carries influence far beyond what the eyes can perceive. You are the gatekeeper of the souls of those you love. You are the fortress wall against the raging winds that seek to consume the hearts still asleep, unaware of the lurking darkness. Let me make it clear, child. Nothing in your home is trivial. Every hidden corner, every breath within its walls must be saturated with my presence. Not with the counterfeit comfort the world offers, but with the peace that comes from knowing heaven itself abides within your walls. Let nothing, whether subtle or overt, take hold of that sacred space. Offer up worship as ceaseless incense that every room may become a living altar. Do not let silence become the fertile soil where lies take root. Let my word ring out like a morning bell, awakening those slumbering in false peace. You may find that your loved ones do not immediately understand. They may question your seriousness, your discipline, your zeal, but I tell you, leniency has never been a shield against darkness. Do not choose the easy road, choose the anointed one. Do not seek human approval when you already carry the affirmation of heaven. When I speak, what you need is not the consensus of the crowd, but instant obedience. Act even if you are the only one who sees the true battle. This moment, beloved one, is not a time to delay. It is not a time to waver. This is the hour when every spiritual act strikes like a hammer against the walls of darkness. If you hesitate, a gap will open. If you are silent, lies will find a voice. And if you refuse to rise, someone in your home will bear the consequence. Speak the truth, but do more than speak, live that truth. Declare it over every doorframe, every step. Let no word from your lips fall void. Let every syllable be soaked in life and power from me. When you step into the living room, let my peace fill it. When you walk into the bedroom, proclaim my protection. When you stand in the kitchen, pray that every meal nourishes both body and soul. Do not treat any corner of your home as ordinary, for I am there if you invite me. You carry me within you, and that is not just a privilege, but a sacred responsibility. You carry the Holy Spirit of the Living One, the Word of the Creator, and a power that no force of darkness can restrain. So why do you fear? Why do you doubt yourself? Did I not choose you? Did I not call your name before anyone else knew it? I did not make a mistake placing you in this house, in this situation, at this hour. You are not there by chance. You are placed there to be salt, to be light, to be a warrior. Do not fear the mockery. You will be called foolish, rigid, outdated, but know this. Those very voices will one day run to you when everything they trusted in crumbles. When the world trembles from unthinkable upheaval, those same souls who mocked you will remember the light you carried. And they will ask, how did you remain standing when everything else fell apart? And in that moment you will point upward and say, because I anchored myself in the one who never shakes. You must keep your heart alert. Not all dangers arrive with a loud noise. Some creep in like silent smoke, like an odorless breeze, yet they can defile the atmosphere if you do not guard it. Pray as if everything hinges on the movement of the Spirit. Act as if the souls of your loved ones are on the front lines, because they are. You are not a builder with hands alone, you build with faith. You raise up a house with prayers thick like incense. You lay its foundation with acts of obedience. You cover it with a roof made of unwavering trust. You hang on its walls my promises like unbreakable declarations, and you guard its doors with prophecy and unending worship. My precious child, before the great wind comes, I want you to know that nothing happening is by accident. The tremors in your spirit, the stirrings that awaken you in the night, they are the call of eternity. I am shaking you because I love you, and I need you to be ready. This is not merely about protecting a structure. It is about preserving a sacred legacy, a holy stream I long to pour out upon the generations of your household. I am raising in you a strength not born of willpower, but of a deep union between your heart and mine. Let my presence reach the deepest part of your soul, and from there rise a courage never known before, a stability that no force can move. You are not living just for today. You are sowing seeds for tomorrow, paving a way for your descendants to walk in shelter, in blessing, and in light. I know there are days when your heart is weary, when you rise in the morning with nothing but the heaviness of life. There are moments when looking at the world you feel as if all you do is in vain, as if your prayers vanish into the sky, as if your obedience yields no change. But child, understand this, not a single drop of your faithfulness is wasted. Every prayer, every act of obedience, no matter how small, is being gathered like jewels in the treasury of heaven. And it is in the moments when you see nothing that I am working the most. Do not let what is unseen cause you to doubt my plan. I am laying the foundation. I am moving. I am wielding your life as a radiant weapon in the dark, and no enemy can stand against a soul forged by obedience and trust. Sometimes the greatest challenge does not come from without, but from within. There are times when your fiercest battle is against the voices inside. I'm not good enough. I'm too weak. I will fail. But I say to you, that is not my voice. I have never called you a failure. I have never defined you by defeat. When I look at you, I see my own image. I see a warrior being perfected through every wound, every tear, every sigh. And I delight in you. Not because you are flawless, but because you rise again, you keep believing, you keep walking even when the path is unclear. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the will to keep going despite the trembling. And that is what I am building in you, a courage that flows from my presence, from my promises, from the Spirit who lives in you daily. Do not let fear paralyze your steps. Darkness may roar outside, but it cannot enter if your lamp still burns. Keep your lamp burning through my word, through closeness with me, through a hunger that never fades. If you feel tired, come to me. If you feel alone, remember, I am closer than your breath. You do not fight alone. I am the one who has already conquered, and you fight from the place of victory. I have placed you here to be a voice not of panic, but of hope, not of sorrow, but of joy, not of anxiety, but of faith. When everything around you trembles, you must stand firm. When others fumble in confusion, you must be the one who keeps the fire burning. For you are the one I have chosen to uphold this house, not merely with locks and bolts, but with prayer, with obedience, and with unwavering love. My beloved child, open your heart, your ears, and the eyes of your soul, and listen. This is a time to awaken, not to hesitate, not to calculate or wait for clarity. I am calling you not through thunder or loud noises, but through the whisper of the Spirit, a gentle yet powerful sound, strong enough to tear through the paralysis that binds your heart. Rise up, child of the light. Step out of the delays that bleed from old wounds, out of the comfort zone built on compromise, for now is the hour I need you to be alert with every beat of your heart. The enemy of your soul, who prowls like a roaring lion, never sleeps. He sows doubt little by little, corroding your faith with venomous whispers. But just as he is never idle, I, your shepherd, never take my eyes off you. Unlike him, I do not use fear as a weapon. I do not corner you with lies or guilt. I come to lead you with truth, with light, with mercy that surpasses all human understanding. Everything I speak carries the weight of unshakable love, a love that was crucified, not forsaken. What you are sensing in your spirit may confuse you, may cause you to wonder if you're simply imagining things. But I assure you, this is not madness, but sacred awareness. That subtle stirring within your soul is no accident. It is the echo from the eternal kingdom, breaking through layers of distraction, worldly noise, and the calluses that have dulled your spirit. It is life awakening your heart, calling you back to the beginning, to the place where I planted greatness in you, even beyond what you yet understand. Do you not know? Even your faith, small as a mustard seed, has moved the gates of heaven. When you pray, even in weakness, Even when it's just a whisper I hear, not a single word goes astray. Your prayers rise like incense before my throne. There are times you think you're speaking into the void, but you are shaking the heavens. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, every time you choose to believe instead of give up, my angels stand and hell trembles. Oh child, I see what others don't. I know every quiet sacrifice, every tear swallowed in silence, every step you forced yourself to take while your heart was breaking. None of it is meaningless. I am not blind to your faithfulness. Each time you choose to stand firm in faith, even with no applause, you are sowing into eternity. And the seeds you've planted will not die. They will rise in their season, bearing fruit not only for you, but for those you never imagined. I know that at times holding on to faith feels like gripping a rope in the dark as everything around you seems to collapse. I do not fault you for feeling weak. I do not turn away when you feel discouraged. But remember, this faith is not about seeing nothing and still believing. It is about believing in spite of everything seen. I never promised a smooth path, but I vow to walk with you. I did not say you would never be wounded, but I guarantee every wound borne for me will be healed and turned into a weapon. None of your pain will be wasted. I am faithful, not because you never doubt, but because I never change. Your faith may waver, but my word does not. When you place your hope in me, it is not surrendering to fate, it is anchoring yourself to the eternal. You are not blindly believing in fantasy. You are trusting in the one who formed the universe and cannot forget a single tear you've cried. When you worship me in sorrow, in confusion, in loss, you create a song that makes heaven fall silent to listen. Those moments full of tears carry unspeakable spiritual weight. They are a testimony of light triumphing over darkness. Every time you lift your eyes amid harsh turns and declare, I still believe, you crush one more lie of the enemy. And you don't even realize other souls are watching, drawing courage from your endurance. You are lighting the way for those too afraid to believe. You are paving the path for those yet to walk. So my child, though this life may make you feel small and nameless in my eyes, you bear a great name, chosen one. Not chosen because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Not because you are strong, but because you did not abandon me in the storm. That is the kind of faith I value more than gold. That is what I use to shake the world. Therefore be sober and vigilant. Do not retreat. Do not delay. Do not seek security in a world that shifts like sand. Hold fast to me, the one who never changes. When you hear my voice, do not stall. When you feel the prompting in your heart, do not let reason silence it. What you do in secret, when no one is watching, becomes a spiritual declaration that echoes before my throne. I do not ask for perfection from you. I ask for a tender heart. I seek a soul that listens. I desire someone who dares to walk into the night with eyes fixed on the light. That someone is you, the one I am calling, the one I am leading, the one I am using to ignite hope in a generation. My beloved child, pause for a moment amidst the noise and listen with the depths of your soul. Do you sense that something is shifting, a stirring? You cannot name a sense that something momentous is near. You have cried out for, my covering pleaded for me, to open the eyes of your heart to perceive the sacred in the chaos of this world. And now I am answering, not with comforting platitudes, not with ease that lulls your spirit, but with clarity sharp as a sword cutting through every falsehood and haze. The storm is coming, my child, not to destroy you, but to purify. It is not sent to crush your faith, but to test it in fire, to reveal what is truly crafted by my hand. Whatever is not born of me will not stand. Borrowed values, dreams I did not plant, structures that seem strong but are mere surface, all will be shaken, all will be swept away like chaff before the wind. I allow this not out of wrath, but because I love you too much to let you remain in what does not belong to me. So do not cling to what I have not given, even if it once brought you joy or a sense of stability. Some things you've grown so used to may feel essential, but if they are not mine, they have no place in the new season I am leading you into. Do not strive to hold on to what I am gently removing. What feels like loss may be protection, and closed doors may be my way of guiding you to a place where no harm can reach you. This is not the time to argue with me, not the time for negotiation or seeking easier paths. I do not call you only when things are pleasant. I call you to walk even without visible guarantees because you have heard my voice before. It led you out of darkness, pulled you from the depths, and it still speaks steady, relentless, unchanging. Remember how I carried you through storms before. Now I do not lead you around the storm, I lead you through it. Not to break you, but to strengthen you. Not for loss, but for you to reclaim what truly matters. I do not call you to wander in safety in weary religious routines, in a faith that flickers only on weekends or in hurried prayers. I call you deeper to the place where all else fades, and only my voice is life. It is not a crowded place. It is a place of intimacy, of raw faith, where your heart cannot live without my presence. I know it scares you. I know stepping from the familiar means facing the unknown. But I promise you, if you go, you will find me there clearer than ever. Your soul is stirring. You feel it, don't you? A silent yet fierce pull in your chest, a weight not of this world, a call that keeps you awake in the night without knowing why. It is not passing emotion. It is me awakening what religion has sedated, what habit has buried, what fear has silenced. I am rekindling the flame in your heart, the one that once burned for truth, for righteousness, for closeness with me. I am brushing off the dust that has settled on your faith for years, and I am restoring the urgency you lost in the comfort that seemed harmless but was in truth dangerous. The stirring within your spirit is not something you need to escape. It is a wake-up call, a signal from heaven that the old season has ended and a new one has begun. If you try to normalize what is unsettling your soul, you will miss the opportunity to step into something far greater. Do not let familiarity deceive you. Do not let false stability blind you. You were created for something bigger, and that calling is echoing within your heart. Listen, my child, not with your physical ears, but with your spiritual ones. Let the noise of the world quiet down. Let go of trivial concerns, the petty battles the enemy uses to distract you. Step away from the crowd, walk out of the meaningless rush, and seek my voice, the call that pierces through the fog of a busy life. It is my voice, gentle yet powerful, soft yet impossible to ignore. And if you dare to step forward, dare to believe, dare to release what you cling to so that you may receive what I offer, I will lead you on a journey unlike anything you've known. A journey where your faith will be sharpened, your heart refined, and my light will shine through your very life. Not so that you may stand out before men, but so that you may become a dwelling place for me, a place where my presence is not just spoken of but felt as clearly as the air you breathe. My beloved child, in this moment when the world grows louder, when the masks are beginning to fall, and what was hidden is being brought to light, I do not come to lull you with a soothing whisper, but to give you clarity and resolve. I do not answer your prayers with a pleasant dream, but with a warning drenched in love. You have prayed for protection, for guidance, and now I am lifting the veil so you may see the truth clearly. Not to terrify you, but to equip you. Not to make you tremble, but to help you stand firm. The storm that is coming is not meant to erase you, but to cleanse everything that was never rooted in me. Do you see it? Everything that does not carry my breath, that cannot withstand the light of my presence, will be shaken, will be swept away. What remains will be what has been shaped by my hands, born of my word, built by my power. Therefore, do not cling to what I never placed in your hands. Do not fight to protect what I am removing from your life. There are relationships, positions, habits, even blessings that appear good, but they have no root in me. This is not the time to argue with me. Not the time to ask for convenient, pleasant signs. This is the time to obey, for you already know my voice. The same voice that carried you through the night, through trials, through barren seasons, is now calling you deeper into the depths of true faith. I am not calling you to a shallow faith, one that survives only on surface emotions. I did not design you to settle for the familiar or for man-made safety. I am calling you deeper beyond religious forms, beyond the boundaries of routine, into a place where only my voice is life itself. I am shaking your soul not to unbalance you, but to awaken what dry religion and comfort have dulled. I am stirring up urgency, not so you act rashly, but so your soul becomes aware, attentive, and brave. Do you feel it? The tension in your chest, the heaviness in your spirit that has no name, the unease that keeps you restless though all seems calm on the outside. That is me. That is my word overpowering the voices of the world, breaking through the illusions to call you back. Do not silence that call. Do not soothe the unrest with distractions or comforts. Stop. Listen. For I am calling you not to a temple made of stone, but to an altar within a broken heart. You must rebuild the altar within your soul. Not with rituals, not with solemn ceremony, but with genuine surrender. I do not dwell in hollow customs. I dwell where hearts bow low, where pride is dismantled, where the self is crucified. Let the old self be undone. Let your desire for control be surrendered. Let everything you once thought was strength, your independence, your private wisdom, your self-reliance, be brought to the cross, and let me replace it with true life. I do not seek lips that honor me while hearts remain far away. I desire to reign through truth, and that truth must begin within you. Do you know in all the days behind you I have covered you? Not because you were more worthy than others, but because of my boundless mercy. Many times you did not see the danger, did not grasp the risks that surrounded you, but I placed my hand of protection over you. I shielded you even when you didn't know you needed it. But now I am bringing you into a new phase, a place of maturity, a place where you can no longer live by borrowed faith, cannot walk forward relying on past prayers. I am calling you to partner with me in protection. My covering continues, but now you must engage not with fear but with spiritual alertness by keeping your heart in the light, by building spiritual pathways in your home. You cannot remain idle assuming safety based on what you once did. I need your full presence now. I need present-day faithfulness, not sacred memories from years past. Darkness is moving quietly but profoundly. Behind what you see, currents are flowing that you cannot see. In systems, legal, educational, cultural, technological, unseen hands are shaping a world in an image not of me. Some things look like support. Some voices sound like wisdom. But I see through it all. I see decay creeping in, deception, disguised strings being pulled from the depths. I see hearts being swept away not because they are evil, but because they lack vigilance. I see choices that seem harmless yet lead to dark places. And that is why I come to you, not to make you afraid, but to place you in your rightful position. I am calling you to be a gatekeeper, not by physical strength, but through spiritual watchfulness. You must discern. You must stay awake. You must walk in a wisdom that does not come from the world, but from the Holy Spirit. Remember, this is not a rebuke. This is an invitation from a Father who knows the time, sees the danger, and sees the potential in you. I believe in you. I know you can stand. And so I am calling you not toward comfort, but toward truth. Not toward compromise, but toward sacrifice. Not toward the crowd, but onto the narrow road where I wait for you, arms open, presence full, and love unending. My precious child, you were not made to merely survive. You were created to shift the atmosphere wherever you are, to carry the fragrance of heaven, to stir dry places until life bursts forth. I did not choose you so you could walk in artificial safety where everything is pleasant yet void of meaning. No, I chose you to be a resounding voice, a wind that stirs, a fire that burns through the invisible but dangerous. Your presence is not to fill space but to reshape it. You were born not by accident, not because the world needed one more person, but because this moment in time needed someone who bears my mark, my breath, and my light in darkened places. Your voice is not as small as you think. When you speak, when your heart is aligned with me, and you release truth, even if just a whisper in the middle of the night, heaven listens and hell trembles. Every choice you make in the dark where no one sees can shift the course of a generation. Your seemingly ordinary steps leave footprints on the spiritual foundation of your family, your city, your nation. Your faith, even as small as a mustard seed, when placed in the right place, my heart becomes a force that can stir the very atmosphere. Not the physical sky, but the spiritual realm where unseen forces clash. When you rise with unshakable belief, the dark sky must part. When you declare, "My word life is released into the space you occupy." You must understand this: what you allow will grow. If you compromise with silence in the face of wrong, it will overpower truth. If you ignore little lies, they will take root and multiply. But if you choose to rise, to confront, to speak, to pray, then in that moment, my power is released. Not because you are strong, but because you choose to walk in my authority. And when you bless, when your lips speak good over others, when you choose love instead of criticism, when you take the hand of the weak and lift them instead of turning away, you are sowing seeds from heaven. And in time, those seeds will break soil, take root, grow tall, and bear fruit. But my child, do not let your heart grow cold. Do not let indifference root itself in your soul like a thick dust you no longer feel. Indifference is the slippery path that takes you far from the mission I placed upon your life. It dulls passion, clouds spiritual vision, and makes you forget why you were born. If you are not careful, you will lose yourself in the crowd chasing comfort. But I did not call you to blend in. I called you to shine in the darkness. Not with loud shouts, not with flashy display, but with a holy life, a pure heart, and a quiet faithfulness that carries great power. Do not grow accustomed to compromise. Do not take small deviations lightly. It is familiarity with what is wrong that dulls the heart to what is right. Compromise does not arrive like a storm. It seeps in like a slow, persistent drizzle, causing you to gradually accept what you once called wrong. But you cannot be salt and allow yourself to lose your saltiness. You cannot be light and hide your light beneath the safety of a basket. This is not the time to quietly dissolve. This is the time to rise, not in arrogance, not in pride, but with the firm conviction that you know where you belong and you know who has sent you. Stand up not to prove you are better than anyone else, but to live with such clarity that those who see you will yearn for the light you carry. Your distinction does not come from knowledge or logic, but from the one who lives within you. When people see purity in you amidst a generation drowning in confusion, when they see you stand firm in the midst of changing winds, they will know you carry something deeper than willpower. It's the very life of me within you. You were created to influence not through power but through faith, not by physical strength but through the steady presence that comes from you being in me and me in you. When you walk in obedience, you don't need to shout. Even your silence causes the darkness to tremble. Your peace amid the storm testifies that you are not of this world, that your origin is from heaven. And that is what the world longs for but does not know: someone who lives with purpose, with unshakable love, and with a light that does not go out. So, my child, remember this. You are a lamp lit in the night. You are a bell ringing in a slumbering world. You were sent for such a time as this, not earlier, not later. You are here not by coincidence, but by destiny. And that destiny is not to preserve a quiet life, but to release life to those still bound in chains. Live worthy of that high calling. Walk with reverent fear and great faith. Know that each of your days carries the potential to change something in someone's heart, in some atmosphere, in the history of some family. I placed you in this stream not to let you drift, but to make the waters flow stronger, cleaner, and fuller of life. My beloved child, be vigilant with the small things within your heart, the things that seem insignificant, but which can silently erode the foundation of your life. Do not allow bitterness to smolder within like a hidden flame that slowly burns down the forest of your peace. Bitterness, though it may begin as a mere scratch, if left untreated, becomes a spear driven deep into your soul, dulling your ability to hear my voice. Do not let unforgiveness take root like a poisonous vine in the soil of your spirit, silently draining your spiritual vitality. Forgiveness is not forgetting the truth, but releasing yourself from the chains of pain. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is the courageous act of one who walks in true freedom. Choose reconciliation and choose it quickly, not because others always deserve it, but because your soul needs the release. Delaying forgiveness builds a weight you alone must carry. Forgive generously without counting the cost, without keeping a safe portion back for yourself. Speak words that bring life, words that heal, that build up, that restore broken bridges. Stop when gossip pulls you in. Idle, chatter, slander, mockery wrapped in laughter. These are open doors through which the enemy enters your home. Flee from cynicism, my child. Cynicism is not wisdom. It is a counterfeit cloak worn by fear of disappointment. I have not called you to live in caution. I have called you to live in trust. Invite peace not with empty words, but through a lifestyle of faith, obedience, and eyes that stay fixed on me, even in the whirlwind. Walk in humility not because you are insecure, but because you know you are entirely dependent on me. Humility does not make you small, it grows you in authority without drawing you into pride. Do you think these things are small? Have you thought that forgiveness, prayer, humility, and refraining from gossip are merely nice but non-essential? I tell you, they are weapons, they are fences, they are armor. They are spiritual boundaries guarding your family from the hidden strategies of darkness. Every time you choose love over judgment, you erect an invisible fortress around your loved ones. Every time you choose silence over spreading negativity, heaven rejoices and hell trembles. I see what your eyes have not yet seen. I see the scrolls written over your family before time began. I hear the promises I spoke to your ancestors, to your lineage words born from my own heart, and I have not forgotten. Though your heart grows weary, though your mind forgets, though your lips cease to pray, I still remember. I remain faithful to my word. But now I am calling you to rise not only as a receiver, but as a steward, one entrusted to nurture and protect the treasures I've placed within your care. This is not the time to bury the gifts I've given you out of fear. Not the time to say, I'm not enough, I'm not ready, someone else can do it better. This is the time to reinvest what I've placed in your heart. Your talents are not for you alone, they are keys that open doors for others to step into life. Don't fear making mistakes. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for willingness, faithfulness, and a boldness born of love for me. Teach your children truth not only with words but with your life. Do not hand their souls to the systems of the world or the culture of the age. Do not think a few church gatherings can replace 5 days of worldly influence. You are their discipler. You are the living curriculum. Tell them who I am, not just through Bible stories, but through your own journey with me. Let them hear your prayers and let them see your tears. Tears of trust, repentance, and deep love for me. Faith is not something you hide. It is a lamp you place on a stand to light the whole house. Let your children see me in your broken worship. Let them see me in how you face adversity, how you apologize when wrong, how you kneel to pray when all else fails. These things echo deeper than any book or sermon. Don't try to paint a perfect picture, create an atmosphere of presence. That is where I dwell, and my child I will provide. I am the one who lacks nothing for those who obey. But my provision does not come to indulge, it comes to prepare. I will give you enough, but I will also prune what bears no fruit. I will protect you, but I will also correct you when you veer off course. I will lead you, but I will not drag you forward if you're unwilling. I want you to walk with me not by force, but by a heart willingly surrendered in love. Walk with me with a tender heart. Learn to obey even when you don't understand. Choose to trust even when what I do surpasses your understanding. And when I tell you to pause, rest without needing to control everything. For I am good. But my goodness is not always comfortable. It is not always soft, but it is always perfect. It is not always according to your will, but it is always for your eternal good. My beloved one, in those moments when you feel alone on a barren hilltop, when your voice seems swallowed by the indifference of the world, when the light you carry feels like a flicker in a vast sea of darkness, pause and listen to me. You are not alone. Though circumstances may tell you that you're a solitary voice in the wilderness, the truth is I have reserved for myself a remnant hearts, ablaze souls in prayer lives, lived in quiet faithfulness. They, like you, are heeding the same call. A call not booming from grand stages or glittering platforms, but from the deepest place within the soul where I, the living one, whisper my invitation to a journey of wholehearted obedience. I am stirring hearts everywhere, not only in places where people expect holiness, but even in seemingly barren lands. I am kindling fires in hidden corners, in secret rooms, in humble kitchens, in hearts once shattered but now ready to burn anew. You are part of this quiet but mighty movement. A movement that needs no spotlight, no human recognition for it, is built by hearts that say yes to me, even when unseen, even when misunderstood. This movement is not about numbers. It does not measure success by crowds, events, or applause. It is measured by faithfulness, the steadfastness of those who choose to stay even with tears. Those who worship in the night, who pray without answers, who walk on though their feet are weary. You may think you are failing, but I say you are being reshaped. The shaking you are experiencing is not the end, it is the sign of a sanctified beginning. What I am doing in you now is not only to change your situation, I am transforming you. I am taking away what you once believed to be essential, the things you thought you could not live without. Not because I desire to leave you empty, but because I am making space for something greater, something that was prepared for you before you were ever born. At times, in order to reveal what I have placed within you, I must remove the outer layers that life and experience have unintentionally built. What you perceive as strength may actually be a form of captivity. What you believe is necessary may be obscuring me. So I allow the shaking not to destroy you, but to expose the light that is growing inside. You were made to surpass the limits you once thought defined you. I did not choose you because you were ready. I chose you because I knew you would let me prepare you. You have me, and that is enough. I would never call you into something great, only to let you be crushed by the weight of it. I go before you. I equip you in even the smallest of things. Within you are seeds of courage, of unwavering faith, of steadfast obedience. They are already there, you only need to trust that I am awakening them in their due season. You carry within you a precious treasure, and it is in the testing that this treasure will be revealed. So lift your eyes, my child. Look back, but not through eyes of disappointment. Look with eyes of faith. Do not let what is being lost blind you to what is being given. Do not listen to the voice that tells you you're slipping away, because the truth is I am leading you higher. Sometimes growth takes the form of breaking. Sometimes elevation begins with surrender. But I never remove anything unless my intent is to give something better. I love you too much to let you settle for the mediocre. I am calling you into something greater, even if you cannot yet see its full shape. Remember, you are not alone. Know that in the very moment you feel your weakest, there are others in nations, in cities, in quiet villages, who are standing with you, who are also fighting, also keeping their lamps burning, also paying the price to remain faithful to me. You are part of that sacred family. You are an irreplaceable link in a network of faith, stretching across the earth, a silent yet powerful stream preparing the way for my return. My beloved child, there will be moments in your life when everything beneath your feet feels as though it's breaking apart, when the familiar becomes foreign. The lights that once guided you may seem to dim, swallowed by a fog of uncertainty. In those moments you may feel adrift in a sea without direction, where each step feels heavy and every breath a labor. It may feel as though the world has gone silent, as if your prayers have flown far but touched nothing of my heart. Those days will come, not because I want to hurt you, but because I am drawing you nearer than ever before. Do not let the silence confuse you. Do not mistake the absence of sound for abandonment. My child, my silence is not distance. It is the deep place of love. In the chaos I may not speak because I am working. When darkness surrounds you, it does not mean the light is gone. It means I am teaching you to trust the light even when your eyes no longer see it. What feels like emptiness is the very place where I am building within you a faith that surpasses emotions and circumstances. You are not alone in this journey. Through generations I have seen the brave ones who stood at the edge of despair with heads still lifted. I have heard the cries of those whose tears soaked their pillows through endless nights. And I have shown my faithfulness to them, not in their strongest moments, but in their weakest, when they surrendered and held on to nothing but me. You need to know this deep within your heart. I have never turned my face away. Even when silence aches in your soul, I am quietly tending to you in ways you do not yet perceive. I am placing every one of your steps precisely, even when you cannot hear mine beside you. You may not feel me, but I am covering you with my unwavering presence. Even when you fall riddled with doubt, when your lips cannot utter a prayer, I am still there holding you, lifting you with my mighty arm. I am not shaken by your doubts. I do not draw back when you ask hard questions, when you weep in the night and ask me why. In fact, it is in those moments when you are broken, when there is nothing left to prove or preserve, that I am closest. I am drawn to your raw honesty, to the pieces of your heart that you offer me in surrender. Because in that brokenness I find space to rebuild, not with the bricks of the world, but with mercy, grace, and strength that flows from my own heart. In your weakness, my power is not just displayed, it is released. Not because you must pretend to be strong to please me, not because I take joy in your struggle, but because when you let go of what you try to carry on your own, when you stop pretending you're okay, that's when I can do what I've always wanted to do, become everything you need. You see life through a narrow lens. All you can see is the present with its limits. But I see all things. I saw you before you were formed. I know every day you will live. I am not intimidated by your future. I am the one shaping it. Your confusion does not confuse me. On the contrary, it is the very place where I long to plant new seeds, seeds of courage, of trust, of a love that is not based on what can be seen, but on what is eternally true. So, my beloved child, do not give up just because you cannot hear me every day. Understand this silence is not abandonment. There are lessons that can only be learned in dry lands. There is faith that can only take root in the absence of abundance. And there are encounters with me that only happen when every other voice is quiet, when it's just me and you, bare, honest, weak, but more profound than ever before. I know your heart is tired. I understand your soul is longing for an answer. But my child, do not let your emotions lead your faith. Let truth lead you, the truth, that I am faithful, that I have never forgotten, my promise that I will never leave you alone. If you cannot walk, then lie in my arms. If you cannot pray, let your tears speak. If you cannot believe, simply say, I still want to believe, and that is enough for me to move. My precious child, there is no part of you that I do not see. No wound, no shadow, no fear that I do not fully understand. I, myself, formed you with eternal love. Before you were ever formed in the womb, I called you by name. Every breath, every heartbeat, every flicker of hope, every fall, I know them all. Not distantly, not abstractly, but like a father who holds his child close every night. And the wonder is, I still love you, not only when you get it right, not only when you are strong, but also when you are weary, broken, and lost. Even on the days you no longer recognize yourself, when your heart is lost in mazes of doubt, fear, or shame, I have never lost you. You may walk away from me, but I will never give up on you. You may sink deep into the pit of your own wrong choices, but there is no depth too low for my hand to reach. You may believe you are too dirty, too sinful to return, but your sin has never been greater than the height, depth, and endurance of my mercy. My grace has no end. It is not dependent on your worthiness, it is dependent on who I am. So, my child, come back, not with hesitant steps, not with the weight of shame, but with an open heart and the hope that my arms are still stretched wide, because truly they have never been closed. I do not wait for you with a list of rights and wrongs. I do not measure your past. I run to you not with wrath, but with tears of joy, like a father who sees his lost child return. I am not looking for the strong. I seek the brokenhearted. I embrace those who have fallen. I do not scold those who can only crawl to my feet. I lift them up. I wipe their tears. I place them back on the journey, not as the rejected, but as the deeply beloved. In the barren desert where every source of life seems gone, I am the cool water flowing from the least expected place. In the storm when everything else is swept away, I am the anchor holding you firm. In the fire of trial when the world turns its back and pressure closes in, I am the shield that keeps your soul from being consumed. And when everything else falls, when those you trusted walk away, when dreams shatter, when plans fail, when human promises prove fleeting, I remain. I am still the one who stays unchanging, unwavering, tireless. Nothing can shake my presence beside you. I am the Eternal One. I am the refuge that does not move. I am the truth in a world that is constantly shifting. People change. They break promises, fall in love, then walk away, speak and forget. The plans you make may collapse. Your heart may shift directions. But I am not like them. My love does not come and go with the seasons. It does not fade when you fail, nor grow cold when you are weak. My faithfulness does not waver based on your performance. When you fall, I do not turn away. When you stumble, I do not keep a record of wrongs. I am the Lord your God, the faithful one, the covenant keeper, the one who never lies. The words I have spoken over you, whether they are promises from long ago or ones you now feel unworthy of, I still remember them. I do not revoke my word simply because you are imperfect. For my promises are not given based on your abilities, but on my nature, love, faithfulness, righteousness. And when I have begun a good work in you, I will complete it, even if your steps are slow, even if you fall more than once. What matters is not how perfect you are, but whether you dare to return, whether you dare to believe I still love you, unchanged, unwavering. My child, if today you feel unworthy, if you are living in the aftermath of your own choices, if your heart whispers that you've missed your chance, I only ask you to take one step toward me, just one. I will run the rest of the way, because my love does not wait until you're fixed to be given. It has already been set aside for you, even while you wander. My beloved one, do not let what your eyes see or cannot see become the measure of what I am doing. There is a deeper reality beyond all that is visible. The unseen realm where I am working is more real than the ground beneath your feet, more certain than the ticking of time. Don't be fooled by silence, by doors that appear closed, by delays that seem senseless. For in the moments you weep alone, when your heart is heavy with questions yet unanswered, I am at work. I do not move in haste, but I am never late. When you kneel in the darkness with no words left to say, I am planting answers in the soil of your surrender, a soil whose richness only I can see beneath the dry surface. When you sit there, alone in the stillness with no instant miracle, no visible sign to soothe your soul, it is precisely then that I am preparing a sequence of wonders you have not yet imagined. I am moving in boundless provision. I am aligning the people you will meet at the perfect time. I am opening doors no one can shut. I am crafting miracles never before told, things no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has conceived. And all of it is taking shape, not in the noise of the world, but in the silence of heaven. But here this child waiting is not a delay born of helplessness. It is not punishment for being undeserving. It is the sacred school where I lead those I love most. Waiting is where I teach your soul to discern the true from the false, what comes from me, and what is only a counterfeit light. In the waiting, your faith is not idle. It is digging deep roots beyond emotion, beyond reason, into that place where only surrender remains. When you have nothing left to hold on to but me, you finally understand that I am all you need. In the silence, your trust is refined like gold in fire, not dazzling but enduring. And in that seemingly empty space, your soul begins to recognize my voice, not in the thunder, but in the whisper, not in the whirlwind, but in the gentle breeze, not among the loud celebrations, but in the holy solitude between you and me. So let your heart not grow weary. Do not think that only visible miracles are victories. Sometimes faith does not look like someone standing tall declaring triumph. Sometimes faith is the quiet choice of a heart that still believes after loss. It's a soul that rises again each morning, not because it has strength, but because it knows I am waiting to lift it up. It's a prayer without words, only sighs, tears, broken breaths, and I understand them all. I do not need eloquent phrases. I hear the groaning of your soul and I receive it as a brave, sacred hymn. There will be days when nothing seems to change. There will be moments when you cry out, "How long, Lord? When will you come to rescue?" But remember this, I arrive on time, never late, only different from your schedule. I am not confined by clocks, appointments, or human timelines. I act according to my perfect wisdom and unshakable love. And so when you cry out, "Right now, Lord," Even when all signs say it's too late, you are stepping into a sacred moment, for that is when you defy every lie of the enemy. That is when the purest faith rises from the ashes, and I never ignore such faith. My child, be steadfast. Keep walking even if your steps feel heavy. Do not despise the small days. Do not compare your path with anyone else's. Every journey that belongs to me is uniquely crafted. Each step holds purpose. You are not left behind. You are being prepared for something far greater than anything you've ever imagined. Every tear you shed, every moment you held your tongue instead of complaining, every time you stood back up with no one cheering, they are the evidence of a faith maturing through the fires of trial. My precious one, I have never turned my face away from the weakness you tried to hide. I have never abandoned you in your inner chaos, even when you didn't understand yourself. I do not cast you aside for the questions you can't yet answer, nor do I withdraw my hand, because you lack the strength to fully believe. I do not demand perfection from you. I never have. What I ask is surrender, a heart willing to open even if trembling, a soul brave enough to say, I don't know, but I need you. You can bring me every doubt, even the ones you thought were irreverent. You can pour out your fears at my feet without fear of judgment. You don't have to perform for me, for I knew you before you were formed in the womb. I see you even when you wish to hide. I understand every thread of thought in your mind, even the doubts you've never dared to speak. And know this, I am not angry at your uncertainty. I do not fear the shadows in your heart. On the contrary, I welcome them as a father embraces a lost child, without judgment, without coldness, but with deep tenderness and unwavering patience. Do not imagine me as a distant God sitting coldly on a throne demanding flawless faith. No, I am not that. I am a father who breaks with you, who stoops to the dust to lift you up. Every time your heart is empty, every time you feel like barren ground, every moment life shatters like broken pottery, it is in those very moments that I am closest. I do not wait for a better version of you to draw near. I step into the ruins ready to breathe new life into your weary soul. You do not need a perfect life to receive blessings from me. I am not limited by circumstances. I do not require a clear path to lead you, for I am the way. I am the one who speaks life over what is dead and calls it back to being. What the world discards, I choose. What others set aside, I elevate. Where others see ruins, I see the potential for my glory to dwell. There is nothing in your life too broken for me to restore. No shard too small for me to pick up and make new. So my child, pray. Not when you feel ready, not only when things are pleasant. Pray when your heart is dry, when words stick in your throat, when your soul feels like it has nothing left to give. Because prayer is not a ritual to appease a deity, it is the bridge between your heart and mine. It is the moment your soul, though weary, dares to lift its gaze and say, I need you. And in that moment, heaven bends low and I step in. When you pray, you are not just speaking, you are opening a door. You are making room for me to act. You are inviting heaven into earth. Not because I cannot come uninvited, but because I honor your will, that sacred gift I placed in you from the beginning. I will not force my way in. I will not invade your circumstances. I knock gently, patiently. I wait tirelessly. And even when you don't know what to pray, I still hear the whispers of your heart. I do not need polished speech. I do not expect long-winded prayers or spiritual oration. I only need sincerity. I understand the silent cries. I understand each weary breath. I hear the groans in the hours when you feel invisible. You don't need to explain, just turn your heart toward me and I will understand. I read the language of tears, that sacred tongue no one teaches but every wounded soul knows. And I, the one who was wounded so you could be healed, will never ignore a breaking heart. Trust me, my beloved. No prayer is wasted. No moment is forgotten when you seek me. And no soul that comes to me will ever be turned away. I love you not only when you are strong, but even when you tremble. I love you not because you do everything right, but because you are mine. So no matter how fragile you feel, no matter how unworthy you think you are, come to me. Do not wait until you are perfect. Do not wait until your fears are resolved or your doubts are silenced. Bring it all, even the hidden parts, even the darkest ones. I am not shocked. I am not distant. I have seen it all, and still I choose to love you. My beloved child, there will be seasons in your life when I choose not to step in and stop you even as you set your feet on a road full of thorns. It is not because I turn my face away or abandon you to a cruel fate. No, my child, my heart has never left you, not even for a moment. But sometimes, I know you must walk on until your legs are weary, to the point of giving way, until your hands are empty, with nothing left to hold, until every idea you have relied on crumbles into pieces you cannot put back together. For only then will you truly see what you would not normally want to admit, that your own strength is not enough, and that I alone am the one who can save, lift, and lead you out of the darkness. I let you go on not to punish you or cause your downfall, but because I know there are lessons that cannot be learned in safety, lessons that are engraved only when you come face to face with the very limits of yourself. It is the place where even your most carefully crafted plans no longer work, where the relationships you thought would always stand by you begin to drift away one by one, where the skills and knowledge you once took pride in suddenly have no power against the circumstance before you. When you reach that end, you will see that everything you once thought was solid was only sand on the shore, washed away by a single strong wave. And it is in that moment that I will show you another foundation, one that does not shift, one that the fiercest waves cannot topple, the very foundation I have always wanted you to stand upon, me. My child, I do not lead you there to humiliate or diminish you. On the contrary, I lead you there to set you free from the illusion that you can be the master of your own fate. I want to open your eyes to see that I am not meant to be your last option after all else has failed. I am the one who should have been first, even when the sky was still blue and the road still straight. You often come to me in crisis, and I am always ready to answer. But I do not want you to treat me as a temporary shelter in the storm, only to return to your own way when the skies clear. I want you to know that I am not your backup plan. I am your constant source of life, your very breath, the deep root that nourishes every smallest part of your being. Think of a tree. When the weather is gentle, it thrives on what it sees above ground: sunlight, rain, air. But when the drought comes, when the leaves begin to wither and the soil cracks, the tree will only survive if its roots reach down to the hidden waters deep underground. I want you to be like that, not living off surface things, not only thriving when conditions are favorable, but sustained by a deeper source that no circumstance can touch or exhaust, and that source is me. When you reach your limit, you will begin to see the fragility of all other things. Money can vanish in a moment, health can fail after a single illness, people can change or leave without warning. Even your wisdom, skills, and intelligence cannot always save you from the impossible. But I do not change. My word never loses its worth. My love never runs dry. My strength is never limited. Sometimes it is only when everything else collapses that you will cling to me. Only when all your usual solutions have failed will you open your heart to let me be your only solution. I do not desire your suffering, but I know that if comfort lasted forever, you might never learn the lesson of total dependence on me. My child, your limit is not the end, it is where I begin. When you are exhausted, I begin my work. When you admit you are powerless, I can fully display my power. And when you realize you have nothing left but me, you will find you truly have everything, for I am the one who makes all things new. So when you find yourself in the place where all your efforts are useless, do not be afraid and do not despair. Look around, I am still there. I have not left you to wander the darkness alone. I let you come to this place, but I have also been here waiting to receive you. What you call the end is in truth the doorway into a deeper life with me, one in which I am not just part of your plan, but the very plan itself. You will discover that when I am your source of life, you no longer live in fear of loss, because all you need is found in me. When I am your breath, you will no longer fear what can take away what is outside you, for what is within you cannot be touched. And when I am your root, you will stand firm, even when the greatest storms crash against you. My child, do not wait until everything around you collapses before you run to me. But if you are already at that very end right now, know this: it is not the final period. It is my invitation. It is the beginning of a new chapter I want to write with you. A chapter where I am the center, the foundation, the source of life that will never run dry. My beloved child, there will come a moment when even your most eloquent words suddenly feel clumsy and hollow. What you once could analyze, explain, or argue will be reduced to fragments of thought scattered unfit to be pieced back together. Your mind will feel weary, like one who has rowed all night in a storm-tossed sea and now has no strength left to hold the oar. That is when you will realize that the strength of reason, precious as it is still only a small part of the greater picture I am painting for your life. There will come a time when the hands that once worked so hard to hold on to everything you cherished will hang limp, no longer able to grasp anything. You once tried to cling to opportunities, relationships, honor, possessions, dreams, but one by one they slipped away like sand sifting through your fingers. With nothing left to hold, you will stand there empty yet strangely light. For only when your hands are empty will they be truly ready to receive something new from me. There will be times when your heart sinks into such turmoil that no clear prayer can escape your lips. You search for words and find only silence. You want to express your pain, but every word breaks apart, unable to contain what you feel. In those moments, you may think you have failed to draw near to me, but in truth you are closer to me than ever, for I do not measure distance by the length of your prayer, but by the truth in your heart. It is in that place where the shell of false strength has fallen away, where the illusion of control has dissolved, where pride has dropped off like an old garment that no longer fits, that I meet you most deeply. Not to ask why you are weak, but to show you that I have been waiting for this moment for a long time, the moment when you rely on nothing and no one else but me. At that point, you will no longer see me merely as a rescuer who comes a few times in emergencies, but you will begin to realize that I am your constant source of life, not just for the stormy days, but for the peaceful ones as well. I am not a temporary bridge over a chasm, so you can continue on your own path. I am the path. I am not a rest stop to refuel before you resume your journey. I am the beginning, the destination, and everything in between. You will no longer think of me as your last resort. You will recognize me as the air you breathe, the most basic condition yet the most vital. You will see me as water to the thirsty in the desert, as sunlight to the green plant. When all else becomes distant or meaningless, I will still be the one you cannot live without. In that end place, my love will not only soothe your wounds, but will etch into your heart a new understanding that everything you once clung to was only a shadow of the real thing. The joy you once sought in the approval of others will fade beside the joy of knowing I am pleased with you. The safety you once thought came from money, position, or skill will vanish before the absolute protection I give. You will also learn something vital, that in your weakness, my power is most fully displayed. You will no longer need to pretend to be strong to prove something, for your very weakness becomes the perfect backdrop for my strength to shine. Just as the darker the night sky, the brighter the stars appear, so in the deepest and hardest times, my presence becomes the clearest and most radiant. I know you have thought you needed to be full before you could come to me, full of faith, full of strength, full of holiness. But I tell you, I do not require you to be full. I only ask you to be real. I do not wait for a perfect prayer. I long for an honest heart, even if all it can offer is a sigh or a tear. It is at the end of yourself that I will reveal a truth you may have heard many times, but never truly felt. I am the only life, not only the source of life, but life itself. You will see that everything enduring you need begins with me, from your first breath in the morning to the deepest purpose of your days. When you rise from that place, you will walk with a change that cannot be undone. You will no longer seek me only when trouble comes, but you will seek me even when all is well. You will begin to invite me into every decision, not out of fear of mistakes, but because you know that without me, even success is empty. You will begin to live not just to maintain what you have, but to grow in deeper relationship with me, the one who met you at your most bare, your most broken, and loved you most there. And from that day on, you will never forget this. The moment you thought you had lost everything was truly the moment you began to have everything, because I had become everything to you. My beloved child, I know that most of the time you come to me when the storm has already risen, when the waves are high, when you are exhausted from struggling against the whirlpools of life. You pray for me to pull you out of danger, to heal your wounds, or to turn your difficult circumstances around, and I, in my infinite mercy, have never refused. Many times I have reached out to lift you from the depths, wipe the tears from your face, and set you back on solid ground. But my child, what I long for you to have is far greater than an instant rescue. I do not simply want to patch your torn places. I do not only wish to plug the holes in your battered boat so you can continue your old course. I want to make all of you new, starting from the roots, from the very foundation. I come not just to repair, but to rebirth. I do not mend an old garment. I weave an entirely new one, pure and radiant. I do not merely still the storm. I want to teach you how to live, even when storms return, because your life has been anchored to an unshakable foundation. You often draw your own map, marking destinations, goals, and plans for the future. Then when you meet a crossroads and do not know which way to turn, you bring that map to me, asking for a little help. But my child, I am not a passing fellow traveler you call upon to guide you for a stretch of the journey. I am the compass, the one true standard by which all direction is set. When I am your compass, you no longer need a map drawn by your finite mind, for each step you take is led by my infinite wisdom. I do not wish to be your last option on a list of companions you invite along the way. I do not want you to think of me only after everyone else has left and every other solution has been exhausted. I want to be the starting point, the place you step first, before taking any road. When you begin with me, everything else finds its rightful place. When you start a journey with me, you need not fear losing your way, for I will be the light that shines on each step you take. You already know me as the healer, and indeed I have often touched your deepest wounds to bring restoration. But I want you to see a greater truth. I do not only heal wounds as they arise, I want to bring you into a life of abundance, where healing is not just an emergency measure, but a constant reality. When you are in me, peace and strength will flow like an unending river, nourishing every part of you, keeping you fresh even in seasons of drought. In the same way, I have been your provider in times of lack, when money ran out, when food was scarce, when you were drained by worry. But I do not want to meet your needs only in emergencies. I want to be the source of every blessing, the foundation from which every dream, every goal, every holy desire of yours is formed and nourished. When you root yourself deeply in me, you will find that goodness does not arrive merely in time of need, but flows continuously, unhindered by circumstance or season. My child, you do not need to wander in circles, trying many paths, only to return disappointed. Every truth you long for, every enduring value you wish to hold, every place of safety you seek, all begin in me. I do not simply show you the way to these things. I am the way. Imagine a house. If its foundation is built on sand, no matter how beautifully its walls are painted, no matter how fine the materials on its roof, it will collapse when the storm comes. But if the foundation is laid on solid rock, the house will stand firm through the wind and rain. I am that rock, the only foundation that can hold your life steady through every trial. Or think of a great tree. Its lush leaves and branches heavy with fruit all come from a root system hidden deep beneath the ground. If the roots are damaged or withered, the tree will eventually die, even if it appears fine for a while. I am the root that nourishes your soul deeper than any surface care the world can give. When you begin to understand that I am not a temporary solution but an eternal foundation, the way you live will change. You will no longer spend your strength trying to control your life, for you will know it rests in the hands of the one who never fails. You will no longer chase after what glitters but fades quickly, for you will have found what is more precious than anything else, a living relationship with me. From then on, even when storms rise, you will not panic. Even when needs arise, you will not be shaken. Even when wounds come, you will not despair. For you will know you no longer need to search frantically for answers in every direction. You need only return to the source. And that source is me, the one who has been, is now, and will always be everything you need. My beloved child, that place, the place where you find yourself empty, exhausted with nothing left to cling to, is in fact a sacred space you have never fully understood. It is like a patch of bare ground with no green sprout in sight, yet holding the potential to burst forth with the richest life when the rain comes. That place may seem like the end, but it is truly the starting point of a new story, one only I can write. Do not despise it. Do not let fear fill your heart as you stand there. For in that place I work in ways unlike anywhere else. There the shallow and the temporary, the ornaments you once draped over your soul, all fall away. No honor left to defend, no plan left to control, no strength left to manage on your own. Only a bare soul, a heart with no refuge but me. And in that absolute emptiness I begin to pour in. Yet what I pour in is not fragile, not something the first gust of wind could carry away. I do not come to hastily patch a wound with a thin scrap of cloth, nor to give you fleeting joys that soon fade. I pour in a fullness that cannot run dry, a life that flows unceasingly, measured not by seasons nor cycles of this world. It is a joy that does not depend on circumstances, a peace that is not shaken by bad news, and a hope that time can never wear away. Many times you have sighed, Lord, I have waited too long. I have heard those words in your silent prayers and the sobs you could not put into speech. I have seen your eyes grow weary from watching doors slam shut before you each time you turned away, disappointed, thinking I no longer heard. You have counted the days, the months, the years, and assumed that my not yet answering meant my silence. But my child, remember this, I do not measure time as you do. You count with clocks and calendars, but I count with purpose and the perfection of my plan. You see a moment as a delay. I see it as preparation. You think postponement is a sign of forgetfulness. I know it is proof that something greater is taking shape. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, it does not sprout right away, but that does not mean it is dead. In the darkness and stillness, roots begin to grow. Life quietly takes form. No one sees it yet. It is preparing for an unstoppable burst when the time comes. So it is with your prayers. Some things I answer at once, but others I leave in the soil for a season, not to disappoint you, but so the new life in you will be strong enough to bear the blessing that is coming. You see only the closed door, but you do not see that I am preparing the key to another door, a door that will not just open into a small room, but into a vast square. You hear only silence, but you do not know that I am composing a symphony, and you are in the rest, a note essential for the music to be complete. I am never in a hurry, yet I am never late. I act at the exact right moment, and when that moment comes, you will understand why I made you wait. You will see that if I had given you what you wanted earlier, you would not have been ready to keep it. You will realize that the time you thought was useless became the firm foundation for what you were about to receive. My child, that emptiness is not a meaningless void. It is the space for me to place something new. If you are still full of your own plans, calculations, and old fears, there will be no room for what I want to give. Sometimes I must bring you to the place where you think you have lost everything, only for you to see that I am everything. And when you are there in the emptiness, I invite you to change how you see time. Do not just count the days without answers. Look at what I am doing in you while you wait. Understand that waiting is not wasted. It is part of the miracle. Know that in my kingdom not a single moment is meaningless. Each is woven into the grand tapestry where everything works together for your good. So when you feel you have waited long enough, pause and remember, I see the whole picture you cannot yet see. I know the road from where you are now to where I have promised to bring you. I know every turn, every rest stop, every incline that is needed. I do not lead you on a winding path to make it hard for you. I lead you on that path to prepare you, so that when you arrive you will not stand there with trembling hands, but with steady feet and a heart wide enough to receive all I have to give. And you will come to see that what you called the end was really my doorway. What you thought was delay was the perfect timing in the song of your life. What you felt was silence was the place where I was whispering the deepest truths into your soul. My beloved child, do not use the short measure of your human time to judge my faithfulness. Do not rush to conclude that I have turned away or abandoned you simply because your eyes have not yet seen the result you desire. You count by days, months, and years, but I work within the framework of eternity. You set your hope upon fixed dates, upon schedules, anniversaries, and goals you have marked. But I, the Creator, am not bound by the lines on a calendar or the steady ticking of a clock's hands. I am not pressured by the beat of human time. I do not hurry because a number on a clock says it is late, nor am I compelled to act simply because people expect me to be on time according to their standard. I act by another principle, the principle of the perfect moment. That is the moment when every piece in the larger picture has fallen into place, when paths that once seemed scattered have converged to a single point, when every heart involved has been prepared, and when every factor, whether you see it or not, is ready to bring about the best outcome. You often call waiting delay. You think that when what you've prayed for hasn't happened, it means the plan is being held back. But in my eyes, every moment of waiting is not an empty stretch of time. It is a season of deep and thorough preparation. Just as a skilled builder will never erect a house before the foundation is deep enough, I will never place something in your hands if the foundation within you is not yet ready to hold it. Think of a field. When a farmer plants a seed, he does not see a plant emerge immediately. For many weeks, it seems as though nothing changes. The surface of the soil remains still, bare and silent. But beneath the soil, a living process is unfolding. Roots are spreading, drawing in nutrients, forming a strong system, so that when the sprout appears, it can withstand wind and rain. If the farmer grows impatient and digs up the seed just to check if it's growing, he will destroy the process entirely. In the same way, if I were to bring the answer too soon, the blessing would not be able to endure. You must also know this: not every delay is because you are unprepared. At times, the people and circumstances connected to my promise for you are still in the process of being made ready. One prayer of yours may involve many others, many relationships, and many events you cannot foresee. I must arrange all these so that when it happens, it will happen perfectly, not just for your good, but for everyone who will be touched by that blessing. My child, I do not work in almost. I do not hand you something merely to satisfy a momentary longing. Everything I give has been planned down to the smallest detail. You call it a miracle when you see the outcome, but to me it is a process prepared long before you even knew you would ask. I know exactly when a door should open, and I also know when it must remain closed a little longer so you will not step through too soon. I know that waiting can tire you. I see every sigh, every downcast glance when you feel everything is standing still. But remember this: even when nothing seems to change on the outside in the unseen realm, I am working without pause. I am preparing you, preparing others, and preparing the circumstances so that they all meet at one point, the point at which you will realize there could have been no better time. Let me tell you about a rhythm you may not have noticed. In this universe, everything has its season. The sun rises and sets in its appointed cycle. Rain comes at the right time to nourish the crops. Even your heart beats to a rhythm set for it. If anything happens out of season, it disrupts the balance. I am the one who created this rhythm, and I am the one orchestrating the rhythm of your life. When I say now, it is because everything is ripe. When I say not yet, it is not a refusal, it is a protection, so you will not lose what is precious. Believe that I never forget what you pray for. No prayer is ever lost. No tear falls without my knowing. Every word you speak to me is kept, not discarded, but placed in its perfect moment to bring the best result. And when that day comes, you will see that I was listening from the very start. I was simply waiting until every piece, yours, others, and the circumstances fit together flawlessly. So do not measure me by the timelines you set. Do not think I have forgotten just because you cannot yet see. I am not bound by the time of this world. I work within the time of eternity, and in that time, everything happens precisely right, not early, not late. And when that moment comes, it will come quickly, powerfully, and so clearly that you will have no shadow of doubt. You will know that every moment of waiting was worth it. Every tear was not wasted. and every second that seemed meaningless was in fact used to prepare you for something far greater than you imagined. My beloved child, engrave this truth upon your heart: every moment you wait for me is never a moment wasted. The quiet days when it seems as though nothing is happening are not a sign that I have turned away or forgotten your prayers. The delay you are experiencing is not abandonment. It is an essential part of the process that leads you to something far greater and more beautiful than you have imagined. You may call that time an emptiness, but to me it is sacred space, the place where your faith is tested and refined like gold passed through the fire. There your perseverance ceases to be a vague idea and becomes a steadfast reality. There your soul, which may have been confined by your own expectations, is widened and deepened so it can hold the fullness of the blessings I am about to give, blessings far beyond anything you have envisioned before. You cannot see the whole picture, but I see every detail. From where I stand, everything is laid bare: what has happened, what is happening, and what will come to be. You walk each day within the limits of the present, but I have set your future in place since the very beginning. What you think is standing still is in truth a canvas being painted stroke by stroke with curves and colors whose meaning you will not understand until the masterpiece is complete. Like an architect building a great structure, the beginning shows only the foundation, the steel frames dry gray and seemingly lifeless. A passerby may think nothing is happening. But in truth, the foundation stage is the most critical and demands absolute precision. Without it, the entire building cannot stand. Your waiting is just like that. It is the stage in which I am laying the solid foundation for what I am about to do in your life. There will be days when you look up and ask, Lord, where are you? Why is everything still so silent? You think that only when the doors swing open, when the path is straight, when the answer is obvious, does it mean I am at work. But my child, there are works I do that the eye cannot see because they are unfolding in the deep places of your soul. I am shaping, preparing, and moving unseen things so that one day they will become visible realities. Do you know that a seed must take time to die within the soil before it can sprout? If you plant it and expect immediate fruit, you will miss the mysterious process taking place beneath the surface. I am sowing new things within you, and they must take time to put down deep roots. Once the roots are strong, the fruit will come. Not only will it come, but it will endure. While you wait, I am cleansing the inside. I am pruning what is unnecessary, breaking down the limitations you or others have set, and opening new spaces in your soul. There are things you think you need, yet I remove them, because they would weigh you down in the new season ahead. And there are things you have never thought of, yet I add them, because they will be the keys that help you keep the blessings I give. And you must understand this: I am not only preparing you, I am also preparing the circumstances, the people, and the timing. Someone you have not yet met may one day play a crucial role in what I have promised you. A distant event unfolding in a place far from you may open the way for the blessing you will receive tomorrow. You may not see the connection, but I do. I am arranging each piece of the puzzle, and when the final one is set in place, you will see the magnificent picture I have been quietly painting for you all along. Waiting is also the time when you learn to hear my voice more clearly. When the noise of life quiets down, you begin to notice the small sounds you once overlooked, the gentle guidance, the silent encouragement, the tender reminders. And that is when your relationship with me no longer depends on what I give, but on who I am, the one you trust even when your hands are empty. My child, believe that every moment of waiting is being used by me with perfect wisdom. Not a single minute is wasted. Not a single tear is meaningless. Not a single prayer disappears into the void. All of it is being gathered, sown, and nurtured, so that on the day I choose, the day I know is best, it will all blossom and bear fruit together. When that day comes, you will look back and understand why I made you wait. You will see that the waiting has made you stronger, deeper, and more grateful for the blessing. You will realize that what I gave was not merely the answer to one prayer, but a complete transformation within you, so that you not only receive the blessing, but also keep it and share it with others. Therefore, do not lose heart when all seems still. Do not let the silence deceive you into thinking I have left. For it is in the silence that I whisper great things into the depths of your soul. It is in the delay that I am arranging a masterpiece which, when you finally behold it in its fullness, will make you exclaim, "It is truly good, and it is perfect." My beloved child, I do not act in haste, for true love is never driven by the restless pace of impatience or the weight of pressure. Such love knows when to wait, when to move, and when to pause. But do not mistake my calm for slowness or passivity. Not a single moment passes without my working. Every day you persevere, every moment you cling to faith, even without seeing anything, is a moment I am in motion. Not in places easily visible to you, not in signs that everyone can recognize, but in the depths where your eyes cannot reach. Like a seed sprouting beneath the soil in the darkness, in the silence, yet in the place where life is most powerfully at work, I am preparing for what is to come. Behind the veil you cannot lift, I am rearranging everything. I am adjusting each detail, shifting every circumstance, moving each person into the precise rhythm and position. Like a conductor leading an orchestra, I let no note fall out of tune, no instrument sound at the wrong time. Everything is being woven together to reach the exact moment of its crescendo. The moment when, as you hear it, you will know that only I could have orchestrated it so perfectly. I am connecting pieces you do not even know exist, people you have never met, opportunities you have never imagined, paths you never thought you would walk, all moving toward the place I have appointed. You see a scattered picture, but I see the whole. And when the final piece falls into place, you will understand that nothing was ever random. Throughout this process, I am also doing the quiet but most important work of all, transforming you. For what I prepare for you is not only the answer to your prayer, but the person you will become when you receive it. If you were to take hold of what you desire without being prepared to keep it, it could become a burden rather than a blessing. That is why I shape you, expand your heart, teach you patience, and train you in wisdom so that when the moment comes, you will not only receive but cherish, steward, and share it. Remember this, what I am doing in you is just as important as what I will do for you. I will not hand over the result before the process is complete. Just as a potter will not pull the vessel from the kiln before it has had its full time in the fire, I will not give you what you long for before you are ready. I know the exact heat and time required to form a vessel that will endure, and I know the perfect timing for your life. You may feel you are in a long silence, but it is not a meaningless pause. It is the time I am laying the foundation so that when you walk through the door I open, you will stand firm and flourish rather than be swept away. I know which door should open, and I know exactly how long it must remain closed before it should. You may feel impatient, you may believe you are ready, but my child, I see what you do not see. I know that sometimes waiting is the greatest gift because it protects you from stepping into a season you are not yet equipped to embrace. And when you choose to remain steadfast, you give me the room to finish my work, a work that once completed will leave an eternal mark within you. I am not only preparing to give you what you have asked for, I am drawing you closer to the image I intended for you before you were even formed. You will become someone you never imagined. You could be stronger, more resilient, deeper, and reflecting me more clearly. Therefore, do not measure the process by what your eyes can see. Do not think that silence means absence. In every second, in every moment, I am working, never ceasing. And one day, when the curtain is drawn back, you will see that every step, every detail, every moment of waiting was all part of a perfect plan. Sometimes, my delay is the shield that protects you from what you are not yet ready to face. Sometimes it is the waiting itself that teaches you what early success never could. And sometimes, in your deepest discouragement, my light begins to shine in the darkest corners of your soul, reminding you, you are never alone. So, my beloved, keep walking not in understanding, but in faith. Keep praying not because results are immediate, but because you know I hear. Keep trusting not based on feelings, but grounded in my unchanging nature. I am faithful. I do not break promises. I do not forget. I do not arrive late. I arrive at the exact moment when my glory will be revealed in full. And then you will see that what you thought was an ending was actually just the opening chapter of a story written by my own hand. a story no one can rewrite, a story no force can stop. My precious child, let me remind you of a truth your soul needs to hear, not just once but over and over until it sinks deep and becomes an unshakable belief. Resurrection cannot come without first going through the cross. Glory does not bloom unless it's been buried. Beauty is not born from perfection but from ashes, from what seemed lost, from the trampled fragments of life that I touch and transform with my living breath. Don't rush to conclude you've failed just because you are weeping. Don't think yourself weak just because you feel weary. It is the silent tears, the honest collapses before me that are most precious in my sight. You may think they mean nothing, but I say to you, every drop is a seed. Seeds sown in tears will yield a harvest of joy that is my unchanging promise. No suffering of yours is wasted, no sacrifice is forgotten. There are seasons in life when everything you once trusted seems to fall apart. Your prayers seem unanswered. The fire in your heart feels like fading embers. But child, it is right there where hope seems impossible that I begin something new. I do not build your future on ease, but on faith refined by trials. I do not withdraw when you are faint, I draw closer than you imagine. Even when you feel nothing, your quiet faith is shaking the heavens. Your faithfulness in the smallest things on the darkest days is the greatest proof that you are mine. You may think your prayers are lost in the void, but they are not. They are being gathered hour by hour, moment by moment, building something unseen. They are the bricks silently forming an altar in the spiritual realm, a place where my presence dwells, a place where miracles are being prepared, and at the right time, not early, not late, I will reveal what has been formed in the quiet. So it is with your worship, not just in moments of soaring joy, but in the times when you praise me with an empty heart, when you sing through tears, when you draw near though you feel spent. That is the kind of worship that moves heaven. No audience required, no instrument needed, no perfect conditions, just a sincere heart. Those moments you think are small are recorded in eternity as resounding spiritual victories. You may say, I have nothing to offer, but child, it is precisely when your hands are empty that I can fill them with gifts from heaven. When you hold nothing back, you are truly ready to receive what matters most. I, myself, am your reward. I am not merely the giver of blessings, I am the blessing. When you lose everything and still have me, you have it all. Remember, my presence is not limited by your emotions. I am there not only when you rejoice, but also when you grieve. I walk with you not only when you're strong, but I carry you when you collapse. And when you can barely whisper a prayer, when faith is but a faint flicker, that is when you are winning, because you are choosing not to give up. You are choosing to believe when everything says don't. You are choosing to take one more step, even while full of doubt. That is the act of those who belong to me. And because you are mine, nothing can separate you from my eternal love. No pain, no failure, no despair, no temptation, no distance, not even death has the power to remove you from your place in my heart. When I hold you, no one can snatch you from my hand. My love for you is not a passing feeling. It is a covenant that cannot be broken, and once I have signed my name upon your life, all of hell cannot erase it. Look back and remember what I have done. Remember the times I rescued you silently, the times you were protected without even knowing it. That was not coincidence. That was me. And if I was faithful before, I will be faithful now and forever. Do not fear closed doors. When every earthly escape is shut, I become the door no one can close. Do not panic when your hands are empty, for I am preparing to fill them with what has never been seen. Child, keep going. Keep your heart soft. Let the prayers never cease, even through tears. Even through long nights. You are not alone. I am still here. I still love you. I still call you mine. And soon you will see what I promised was never empty. You will rise. You will sing. You will look back and declare, the Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in my eyes. So, my beloved child, don't hesitate to return to me, not only in moments of weakness, but in the rhythm of your everyday life. Don't wait until you feel good enough, strong enough, or spiritual enough to come close. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for a heart that knows it cannot live without me. Returning to me is not a one-time turnaround, but a continuous journey, a steady rhythm of surrender. Each morning when you wake, turn your heart toward me. Each time your mind wavers between choices, whisper my name. Every time confusion draws near, come home to the safety of my arms. When fear starts to seep in like shapeless smoke, when your heart trembles over the unknown, return to me. When silent lies creep into your mind telling you that you're not enough, that you won't make it, that I've forgotten you, come back to me where truth shatters every deception. When life grows loud, when 1,000 voices crowd your thoughts, when the rush makes you forget yourself, choose to hide in my presence. No ritual needed, no elaborate prayer, just a heart turned toward me. I am not far from you. I have never left. I am right here, closer than the very beat within your chest. At the mere whisper of my name, even if faint, I will draw near. At a single cry, Lord help me, I will hear and I will act. One silent tear falling down is enough for me to bend low and gather it, holding it as evidence of a love that has never ceased. I do not wait for you to be perfect. I wait for your surrender. A genuine surrender, simple and unadorned, without display or explanation. You don't need to understand everything in order to trust me. You don't have to see the final destination to take a step with me. Place your hand in mine, the hand once pierced for you and never once let you fall. Trust me not because you control the path, but because I am the one who created it. I will never lead you into harm, not a life without challenges, but a place where you will be upheld through them, where you will grow in the very things you thought would break you. Even if the path is painful, thorny, and tear-stained, I will turn it into something good. No wound born out of love for me will be wasted. No waiting out of obedience will go unredeemed. If anything seems too late, if time appears stolen, know that I am the one who can redeem the years you thought were lost. No moment spent for me is ever wasted. I see it all. I remember it all. I will not allow any good thing to be lost simply because it arrived later than expected. And if there are things in your life that have broken, been lost, or stolen by the enemy, believe that I am the restorer. I will not only return what once was, I will do better. I will give you new life, brighter, deeper, refined through tears and faithfulness. I will give you beauty for ashes. Those parts of your life you thought were burned beyond repair will rise again. I will pour joy into your heart, not fleeting joy, but the kind that remains unshaken by shifting circumstances. In place of your heavy, sorrowful spirit, I will clothe you with a garment of praise, a garment soaked in freedom, lightness, and vitality that only I can give. I know there are times you're tired of always being strong. You brace yourself, afraid that if you're weak, everything will collapse. But my child, you are not the pillar holding up the world. I am the solid foundation. You don't have to carry it all. Let go. Let me be the one who bears it. Cry if you must. Rest in my arms. There is no shame in not being enough, for in your not enough, my power is made perfect. When you are weak, then I am strong in you. Remember this, you do not have to prove your worth to me. I have known you, chosen you, and loved you long before you ever did anything to deserve it. My love is not based on performance success or flawless obedience. My love for you is grace, meaning it cannot be earned or bought, only received by faith. So when you feel not good enough, come closer, not further. When you fail, run toward me, not away. I am the Father who never turns away, a child who returns home. You're still here. And if you still have breath, then there is still hope. I can rebuild what's been broken. I can breathe life into the dreams you thought were dead. I can spark fire from the ashes. Nothing is too late for me. No one is too far gone, and no dream is too small for me to care. Give me the smallest things in your heart, and you will see what greatness I can make from them. So come home. Don't wait until you feel worthy. Don't wait until you've gathered enough courage or words. All I ask for is a real heart. Just one cry from the depths. I will hear, I will come, I will act. And you will know that I was never distant, never indifferent, never silent. out of forgetfulness. On the contrary, I have waited for you with all patience, gentleness, and unending mercy. Let me love you the way you need to be loved. Let me heal the wounds you're afraid to touch. Let me call your name not in judgment, but with a tenderness that melts your soul. And you will see that the very place you thought was the end is where I begin to write something new. My beloved child, do not trade your faith for fleeting relief. Do not exchange the sacred and eternal for a moment of temporary ease. Do not sell your inner steadfastness for counterfeit comforts offered by the world, things that vanish like mist as soon as you reach for them. I have not called you to walk through life in ease, but in faith. True faith doesn't demand visible proof to trust. It demands a heart that is both battle-worn and soft enough, courageous enough, to still choose to believe when all is unclear. You are in a process beyond your full understanding. I know this. There are wounds so deep you cannot explain why they happened. There are dreams shattered into pieces even though you trusted with all your heart. There are losses that make you feel as if you're slowly disappearing from your own life. But I tell you this, I am doing a healing greater than what you asked for, a restoration deeper than you imagined. I am not just patching the surface. I am renewing your heart, changing how you see, how you love, how you hope. When you think everything is falling apart, I am actually rearranging things. When you think you're losing, it may be that I am teaching you what's truly worth holding on to. You can't see it now, and I understand. But my eternal wisdom is not limited by your finite perspective. I am forging you like a blacksmith refines iron in fire, not to destroy, but to transform. I am cultivating within you an unshakable strength, a kind of courage that doesn't come from flesh, but from having been broken, from having collapsed from crying until you had no more tears and still choosing to believe. Oh, my child, your life itself will be the testimony. One day someone will stand where you once stood in darkness in the valley with a frozen soul and eyes searching for anything to hold on to. They won't need a long sermon nor a theory. They'll need someone real. And in you, they'll see a path marked by tears, by prayers, by faith, a path they too can step into. You will be a witness to my grace, not with mere words, but with your life, with eyes no longer afraid, with a smile that has endured heartbreak, with peace in your presence amid a chaotic world. Don't let today's darkness make you believe there's no light tomorrow. This valley is not your final dwelling. It's only a passage, and I am walking through it with you. The darkness has no authority to consume you. It may cover you for a time, but it cannot possess your soul if you hold on to the light, and that light is not in your feelings. It is in your spirit where I planted a seed of hope, a spark of life, a grain of faith even before you were born. Dawn will come, not just a new morning, but a radiance that breaks forth within your soul. When that day comes, you will look back and know I never abandoned you, not even for a second. Even when you couldn't hear my voice, I was walking beside you. Even when you couldn't pray, I heard your heart tremble. I've been holding you step by step with hands that never let go. Not one moment of your darkest night passed without my presence guarding your soul from despair. Then you will see those prayers you thought were in vain have been rising like incense. Not one word has been lost. Not one sob forgotten. The tears you hid away, they are the seeds I've used to blossom something new. You thought your tears were signs of failure, but I see them as marks of courage. For only those who dare feel deeply can truly love. Only those who have been broken can truly understand another's pain, and these are the ones I will use. My child, do not underestimate the hope you're holding. Hope is not foolish. It is proof of a faith that has survived drought. It is the flame still burning after the storm. Hope is the foundation of the miracle you haven't seen yet, but I have. I've already written the good ending to your story, and the only thing you must do is not close the book too soon. Believe that what you're walking through is not the end. It is a transition chapter, the pause before a great symphony begins. And I am the author, the conductor, the father who never writes half-finished, never leaves undone what I have started. So hold on to faith. Stand firm even when your knees tremble. Keep hoping, even when your eyes are filled with tears, because there is nothing you endure that I do not see. No sacrifice I do not count, and no dream you entrust to me that I cannot restore in a way more beautiful, deeper, and more lasting. You won't always understand me, but I invite you to keep trusting. You won't always see my plan, but I invite you to keep walking in faith. And if you do, you'll see miracles don't come because you perform perfectly. They come because you didn't give up. I am waiting for you at dawn, but even now, while the night still lingers, I am here with you, in you, for you. Now lift your heart to me, and from the depths of your soul offer the most honest prayer you can. Almighty God, the one who never changes today, I come near to you not in strength but in weariness. I hide nothing from you, for you have already seen all that is within me. There are days I feel like walking in a fog. My eyes no longer see clearly. My heart no longer holds the certainty it once did. But still, I choose not to turn away. I choose to come closer to you because I know only you are the source of life. Please lift me up with your mighty hand. Renew my mind so I can see things the way you see them. I give you every fear, every worry, every mystery I can't make sense of in exchange for the peace that surpasses all understanding. Make me strong in you even when I feel empty. Loving Father, the one who loves me with an unfading love today, I kneel before you in brokenness, hiding nothing anymore. I have tried many times to stand on my own strength, but I am tired. Now I don't need to try anymore, I just need you. Please hold me close, wipe away my tears, and remind me that I still belong to you even when I feel like a failure. Don't let me stray from the path you've set before me. Soften my heart to your word so that my faith may live again and burn brightly once more. I need you not to make everything easy, but to help me walk without drifting away. Faithful God-keeper of every promise, I offer you this prayer like the final breath left after a long day. Maybe I don't have many words, no eloquent phrases, but my heart is real. I simply want to say that I believe you even when I don't understand. I believe your love still covers me even when I can't feel it. Please hold on to me when I no longer have strength to hold on to you. Be with me in every lonely moment and remind me that everything begins in you and everything will end in your glory. Dear Father, I thank you for never leaving me, even when I've been weak, doubtful, even when I've turned my back. You were still there, silently guarding me, gently reminding me and loving me with an unconditional love. Thank you for the moments when I thought I had lost everything, but it turned out you were removing what wasn't needed to prepare something more precious. Thank you for the lessons in tears, for the times when falling down became the very place you lifted me up stronger. You are my everything. Great and holy God, I thank you for never despising my fragile faith. When I had just enough strength to whisper a prayer, you counted it precious. When I had no words, only tears, you understood. I thank you that you do not set expectations based on my ability, but according to your mercy. You still call me beloved even when I don't feel worthy. Thank you for your mercies that are new every morning, unfailing and kind. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.